Returning now to the studio with more on the increased United States sanctions against Iran is Dr. Mordechai Kedar, expert on the Middle East from the Begin-Sadat Center at Ilan University. Dr. Kedar, thank you so much for being with us again.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so let's start with, how might the renewed sanctions, the increased sanctions, change the landscape politically here in the Middle East? Are any alliances seemingly going to change? Are people going to, drop Iran under these new sanctions, or are they going to buckle down and dig their heels in?
Well, this is one thing. Of course, now it will be much harder for countries to cooperate economically with Iran, and we do see how countries like India and others, even China, tries to reduce the scale of economic cooperation with Iran, which inflicts very big harm on the Iranian economy. Mm-hmm. However, what we very clearly could see already is, first of all, Iranian oppositions from abroad actually start feeling that this is the time for them to start being active. They are sitting, I know about all kinds of negotiations and meetings and all kinds of documents which go from side to side, because these oppositions feel that this time the Iranian regime will not survive. If the Americans will insist on having those sanctions tightened on Iran, and believe me, those people, Iranians, expats, who live in many countries in the world, if they feel that something here is different from everything which was like in the 30-something years since the Ayatollahs came to power, I think that this is a very important indication for something which we as Westerners do not always feel. This is one thing. Second thing, inside Iran, what we saw since last December, when Trump started to talk about sanctions and renewed sanctions, sure, they feel also that the pressure which will be maintained on the regime will be in such a magnitude that the regime will not survive as a regime. Never mind the JCPOA. The regime itself, people will give up from the regime and will run away. And this is what people feel.
So what kind of really should we be preparing for? Should we be preparing for the fall of the Ayatollah regime in the near future? And how would that ripple?
Well, near future is, relative.
Sure.
What is near? 1 year, 2 years. And don't forget...
I'd say either is pretty near.
And don't forget that we are now approaching the midterm elections in the United States. What will be after Tuesday, nobody knows. Will the president continue to be, with a Congress and a Senate with him, or will he be a lame duck after the elections, when one or two of these houses will...
He's completely democratic.
Okay,
yeah.
So this is another question. But what happens around Iran, that definitely states like Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, start feeling also that Iran is shaking, and the regime might definitely collapse. What they will do if they collapse, I have no idea. They might, let's say, take everybody to hell by launching missiles all over the Middle East, or not.
Well,
but the IDF is already on alert.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to be looking very closely into this. Dr. Kedar, I hope you come back with more insights when more insights are to be had. Thank you so much for coming in.